Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Anne Williams, who is the Marketing Director at Hotel Plan UK. So, morning, Anne, how are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you, Lucy.
And a big week for you guys. Really exciting stuff happening. I had a little sneak preview when we were together a few weeks ago, but you're announcing something pretty special this week. So I will give you the floor and you can tell us a little bit about it.
Thanks, Lucy. Yeah, it's a really exciting week for us this week because tomorrow is the big day when we finally get to launch our rebrand of Inghams. It's been a long time coming. It's a brand that's very well known and loved across the UK. We go back to 1934 was the year that Walter Ingham took his first group skiing into Austria. And then a year later, he took another group walking in the mountains. So a really long history and heritage. And we're really excited to be able to bring a whole new look and feel to the brand. And one that really just brings us, gives us a really modern feel. It still maintains a lot of the heritage and the history, but equally, now we're moving into a direction where we're really focusing on what we do best, and that's taking people on holiday to the great outdoors and being active in the outdoors. And that's what the new brand identity is focused on.
Yeah. It feels like your old brand has been around for a long time. When's the last time there was a rebrand, Anne? Do you know?
We've been trying to work that out, and we can't pinpoint it exactly. We've been working through the archive of old brochures, and there are a lot of them. But we think it's at least 20, if not more years since the last kind of brand iteration. There's been a few tweaks along the way.
But this is quite different, isn't it?
This one is very different to anything that you've seen before for Inghams.
Okay. Now you talked there about sort of walking and skiing. So I guess people perhaps know Inghams very much for the ski product, but you clearly have a big sort of summer program as well. So does this new branding, is it sort of designed to create a brand identity to bring all the products together under that brand?
Yes, that's right. One of the big challenges we had with Inghams is that we're very well known for our ski holiday program. And that's quite an easy program to understand. But then we had lots of other elements of our program that didn't quite match, I guess, in terms of the high adrenaline and activity of skiing. We had a very long-standing lakes and mountains program across the summer, which was a combination of the mountains in Austria and Switzerland, but then also a really lovely Lake Garda program and many of the other Italian lakes. But it was much more low-key in feel. Then in addition, we had a very extensive tailor-made Italy program. And then we also have Lapland as well. And we have both Santa breaks to Lapland and the 7-night program. And trying to find a brand identity that could link all of them together has been one of the biggest challenges of this whole project. Where we got to in the end is what we realized is the activity that people do on the Lakes and Mountains program predominantly is actually walking. And when you go to the mountains, that's what you do. You go out and you go walking. And actually the answer was, to be perfectly honest, was staring us in the face. And everybody else around us was referring to us as a walking holiday program.
Yes, because you quoted that Mintel report, which had said that Inghams was a really famous walking brand, but you kind of almost hadn't been positioning yourself in that way.
That's right. Yeah, when we were doing a lot of the research to understand how we could best position Inghams, some of the desk research led us to the Mintel report that was focused on walking and cycling holidays. And it quoted Inghams as being one of the largest providers of walking holidays in the UK. So it does seem that everybody else knew that we were doing walking holidays. We just hadn't identified that ourselves as a way to take that product to market. We've been offering walking holidays in the mountains for as long as the Lakes and Mountains program has been around, which is, goes back 80 years. And part of that program has always been about offering the expertise of our local reps that know the areas and can take our customers on guided walks. So that's something that we're really bringing to the forefront as part of the rebrand, is that expertise that we have in walking and the experience that you can get from our people on the ground, that we'll be able to. Yes.
And just to be clear on your walking program, you don't do point-to-point tours. This is where you stay, you go somewhere, you stay for a week, and then you explore that area.
That's right. Yeah. So it's more of a stay and walk program rather than point-to-point. You can do 2-center or multi-center if you want, but the majority of our holidays are you are staying in one single destination. So there's no need to pack your bags every night and keep moving. There's no pressure of an itinerary that you have to follow to get to your next stop. If you want to take a leisurely lunch the halfway through your walk and enjoy the views, you can do that. Equally, if one day you want to enjoy the town and do a bit of sightseeing, you can do that as well. And I think the real beauty of the program that we've got is we think it's going to be a really nice way of people who might be new to walking to access it without the pressure of feeling like they need to be a really experienced hardcore hiker and need to do the point-to-point thing. They can actually just dip their toe in and explore on foot, I think is probably the best way of putting it.
Okay, so lakes and mountains no longer exist. We're just now Inghams as one brand. And then how are you differentiating? You've got some great colors and icons, I seem to remember you showing me. So talk us through what you've done there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've divided the Inghams program overall into 3. There's the ski program, there's the Lapland program, which whilst there is some skiing there, that's not the main reason why people go to Lapland. It's all of those winter wonderland activities that you do up there, like the husky sleighs or the reindeer rides. And there's also then the new walking program as well. So with those 3 different products that we have, there's going to be an identity for each of them that will be differentiated by color. So the Inghams ski program is going to be blue. So there's a nice dark blue and an ice blue as a highlight color. We've always been that navy dark blue color in the Alps. So it works really well. People know us for that. So it made sense to keep it. The Lapland program, we've adopted a purple color for Lapland as the identifier, and that's pulling out some of those amazing colors that you get in the Northern Lights.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I thought it was such a good idea.
Yeah. And then last of all, our walking program, we've taken a new color palette for the walking, and we've gone with a dark green and a highlight color of a bright lime green. The choice of the dark green comes from a nod towards our heritage, and it's, if you look at a lot of heritage British brands, they use the dark green, which is very much similar to the British racing green, a colour that's got such a long history in the UK. So we've taken the dark green as a nod to that British racing green history, and then the lime green highlight just gives it a fresher, more modern,
the active side of things as well with the walking.
Exactly.
Oh, it's brilliant, really good. And just talk to us a bit about how your customers have changed and how you feel they'll react to this. I mean, over the years, have you seen changing demographic of the kind of people wanting to take both ski, I guess, and the summer walking holidays?
Yeah, definitely. There has. On the ski program, our audience is the 45 years plus existing skiers. Our ski program, we don't actively go out targeting people who are new to skiing. We focus on those who are already skiers. And the strongest part of our program on ski is Austria. And we tend to find that it's the established skiers that want to go to Austria. You might start off skiing in some of the more affordable resorts like Bulgaria or Andorra and many parts of France. And then once you ski for a little while, you get a little bit more adventurous and you try Italy and Austria and Switzerland. And that's where we really come into our own. And we have that established skier who has got a little bit more money to spend and they want a slightly more premium experience.
Right.
And that's where Inghams definitely comes into its strength there. With the Lapland program, what we've seen on the customers for Lapland is this huge opportunity outside of the skiers of people that really want to have those amazing experiences, particularly on the back of COVID. They now have got their list of the once in a lifetime experiences, the places that they want to tick off, and Lapland is most definitely one of them. And particularly getting the opportunity to go and see the Northern Lights.
Yeah. And just to be clear, you've got Santa's Lapland, which is just a short break. So that's within the portfolio, the hotel plan.
That's right. Yeah.
But within Inghams, it's a week-long holiday where you can do the full.
We actually have both. So we've got the largest part of the program is the week-long program, the 7-night Lapland program. And we offer a selection of different resorts in Lapland. But we do also have an Inghams Santa Breaks trip, which is 3 or 4 nights. It's not as big as the Santa's Lapland program. And where the Santa's Lapland program is all-inclusive, the Santa Breaks one with Inghams is a little bit more tailor-made. So you can pick and choose which activities you want to add on.
Good to get the differentiation. That's good.
Yes. Okay. And then last of all, on the Inghams walking side of things, the Lakes and Mountains program has got a very loyal customer base who quite often have travelled with Inghams for many, many years. A lot of the time staying in the exact same hotel they stay at every single year. They know the owners, they know the family that runs the hotel, and they go back year in, year out. What we're seeing now as we modernize the brand and as we open ourselves up to be a more accessible way of enjoying the great outdoors and exploring on foot, we're seeing a younger audience come through in their 40s and 50s who probably started going out walking during lockdown and discovered the benefits that they get from being outdoors, with both the physical and the mental health benefits from being out in nature and enjoying a bit of fresh air. And they want to keep doing it, and they want to stay
not just round the local park where they've had to go and during COVID, so they can now.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But again, they don't want to do that. The point to point. They don't want to do a full-on week of walking. They want to enjoy beautiful places, get to have nice lunches, enjoy the food, the wines, but also get out and about on foot and do some day walks. And that's where we're seeing the new audience coming through for the summer side of the program.
That trend is there already, but I guess with what you're doing and all the investment you're making in this rebrand, that will hopefully grow your market. I hope, get more new people.
That's right, yeah. And then the new branding reflects that. So we wanted to give it a younger, fresher feel. The existing branding and the existing kind of identity of Inghams, in all honesty, it was a little bit formal. And in today's day and age, I think people appreciate that human touch, and they want to know that there are real people behind the screens. And the brief that we've given to everybody as part of this rebrand is to talk to our customers like you're talking to a friend, and tell them all the best bits that you know about the places that they're interested in. And not to be afraid of being very friendly and just as informative as they can be, without feeling that they need to be formal and perhaps a little bit old-fashioned with it.
Oh, I love it. You're being really honest about where you were, but this I've seen it, and I think it's fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to do all the things that you're talking about. One of the key things is going to be educating agents. Obviously, they're hugely important to you. I'm sure Julie is armed and ready to hit the road when it's announced tomorrow. So what are your plans for the trade? What's Julie and her team going to be up to?
Yeah, so we've got lots of activity planned in Travel Weekly. Actually, there's going to be some supplements and inserts coming out. We've got May is National Walking Month. So we're going to be doing a lot of activity around National Walking Month, both focusing on the trade press, and then also Julie will be out and about with her team on foot, of course, with lots of goodies to give our trade partners. But now the focus is very much on, yes, we still want to share lots of goodies with you guys, but we want them to be really nice stuff. As part of our journey on our sustainability as well, which is a big part of underlying the rebrand too, is how we can bring our sustainability journey to the forefront. Part of that is to try and avoid creating a lot of waste. And quite often, you know, we might produce some giveaways and merchandise that nobody really wants, and they usually end up being wasted. So what we're looking at now with Julie and her team is to find nice things that we can give to you guys that people actually want, and that they're much higher value. So we're prepared to spend a little bit more on them to give people something that's got a little bit more value. Some of the things we've been looking at, for example, is we still want to keep it aligned to the branding and the program, but we've been looking at things like some proper walking socks. So not just a rubbish pair of socks, but an actual proper pair of walking socks. We've been looking at some really nice water bottles, so some metal water bottles, like the Chili's ones that so many people have. We've been talking to them about potentially getting some decent water bottles done.
So no more plastic pens and
no
tat,
more plastic
basically.
That's
okay.
cool. Yeah.
I think that's a great thing. But your sustainability journey, you touched on it there. It's so important for you. I've talked to Joe, your CEO, a number of times about it. But it's something that, you know, you say it's underpinning this rebrand, but it's underpinning your whole strategy, isn't it?
That's right. Yes. We're part of a group of businesses now, the Hotel Plan Group, where all the way from the very top, from our CEO in Switzerland, Laura Mayer, there is a single objective to be the most sustainable travel brand in our markets. And that's what we're all absolutely trying to achieve. It's going to be a long journey, and we're not there yet. There's a long way to go, but we're taking the steps that we need to as quickly as we can. We've done a carbon audit. That was one of the biggest projects that we've done so far. The carbon audit has been about understanding across all of our holidays, looking at the transport, the accommodation, all the services that you might use when you're in resort, as well as all the running costs of the office back in the UK. Once you add all that together, what does that total carbon output look like? And then we're able to calculate that on an individual passenger basis to give us a starting point. And then the intention from there is every year to make it better. And the other big part of this journey is we've recently taken on some new partners, and where we were working with a carbon offsetting company, we've recently moved to a partner called Climate, which is actually about carbon removal. So it isn't simply offsetting, it is actually actively removing carbon from the atmosphere.
Which is brilliant. And I think people might expect that for a walking company, but it's a lot harder with a ski company. And yet you're making some really good strides in that area, I know.
It is, yes. And at first, I must admit, I was quite nervous about, you know, making any claims to be sustainable when we're a ski company, we charter our own flights across the winter. But the reality of the situation is that people want to go on holiday, and they will continue to go on holiday. Our job as a tour operator is to take all the necessary steps to try and minimize the impacts that holiday will have. And it's okay to run these holidays. It's just about doing it better. And how can we improve what we're doing? So we're working with a lot of our resorts as well, our ski resorts. And there are many, many ski resorts in the mountains that are already very advanced in their sustainability journeys. And they're using all renewable energies to fuel the power in their resorts. A lot of them have no choice because they're at the top of a mountain, and there's no other way of getting their energy and their power than using things like hydroelectric power. So we're working really closely with resort partners to understand where they are, and also with our hoteliers as well. We're working with them to where, if they're perhaps not as far down that journey as we would like them to be, we're trying to help them and to help them understand how they can do things better. Then also with ski, we have our own program of managed properties, and that's where we can really make a difference, because
you can control it.
We control all the operations, so we can make sure that we're sourcing local produce. You know, there's no excuse not to use the amazing cheeses that you get in the French mountains, and the fabulous wines as well.
Oh yes.
So,
well, that's all part of a ski holiday, so you definitely need to keep that up. All right, Anne. Well, listen, I know how long you and your team have been, well, you know, the time you've invested into this. As I say, I've seen it. So when we put this video out, you'll be able to see all the icons and the colors and the new brand. I think also on sustainability, you're also getting new uniforms for everyone, which are all recycled, aren't they? So we're going to see.
Absolutely.
So I think it's across every level, isn't it? I think it's going to be really, really striking. And we just wish you all the best with it, because, as I say, it looks phenomenal. You've obviously a lot of work put into it, but it looks great. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All right. See you soon.